Hello, everybody. The blue dress saga continues after making some major adjustments to the actual garment. I am dropping the lining in, it's already in. What I'm doing now is understitching the neckline so that the facing or the lining of the neckline, as you can see, is the same fabric, but that it stays on the inside instead of rolls over. What I wanted to show you was this little point right here. You must turn your facing, point your facing toward the your seam toward the direction of your facing, right? So the inside seam goes to the left where your facing is. And I wanted to also point out, if I can get as close as I can here, it's hard for me to see what I'm really actually looking at. However, to get as close to this seam as possible, your foot right here, your pressure foot, has little details on it that will help you make some real good choices as far as seams and where you need them to be and how, you know, how close they need to be to the seam when you're understitching. What I found out is if I use the inside of the foot right here, let's see if I can find something a little smaller than my finger. Is this right here? If I use the inside of my foot right here and I line it up with my seam, bring my needle as far to the right as I can, right here. I'm going to get a stitch that is very close to the seam where I need it to be. Now, mind you, right now I'm sewing with one hand and holding the camera with the other, but this is what you'll see happen. Just make sure I'm where I need to be. Keep the side of the foot as close to the seam as possible. There we go. And let me show you what you should be coming out with, okay? Hold on just a second. Pull up my needle, raise my foot. Just going to pull it out so you can see. So see how close to the edge that actually is? You want that to be your understitch right there. That's a great shot of that. That's how you get that to happen, okay? So use your presser foot as a tool. It's got little divots in it. It's got little insides. All kinds of things where you can measure where your fabric needs to be for the perfect technique that you're trying to do. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing the understitch on here. I'm loving it. Finish the understitch on here and on the neckline. And then I will be working on the armholes as well as evening out the hem. Those are the things I'll be working on. This dress is going to have to be posted as finished really soon. All right, y'all have a great day and we will talk later. Okay, so we've got a beautiful understitch. I've taken it to my pressing board. I'm pressing it on a hem because it's got some curvature to it, so the hem will help the neckline maintain that curve. Also, in ironing it, I am using a piece of muslin to cover that. Putting a press on top. Okay, I've already done that. And then this is our results on the right side. It's just gorgeous. And I am so excited about having done the understitching. There's just some steps that you cannot skip. And understitching a neckline or a place where you've got a lining or a facing, you have to understitch to hold it closer to the body rather than having it popping out while you're wearing the garment. All right, so I'm encasing my zipper, my lining, and my garment, my fashion fabric, my lining, and my invisible zipper is the seam allowance on the invisible zipper is encased in here. I'm going to sew this up. When I turn it inside out, you won't be able to see the seam allowance of the lining or the fashion fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what we've got. Also, I'll be changing to a zipper foot so that I can get as close to my zipper as possible to really give that a clean finish. Okay, so we've got a great sew up on the zipper and lining. You can see how it's all encased in the lining and the fashion fabric with the zipper in between. It just gives the inside of the dress a beautiful, clean finish. Excuse me. And there we go. We've got a great finish on the neckline. The underlining is gorgeous. And now we can move on to the hemline of the dress. Still not sure about my armholes, but the hemline of the dress, I'll be working on that and getting that fixed. And we will talk to you later. All right, so I've got the hem serged off. Had to level it out, even it out all the way around. And once I turn it inside out, I'm going to see how long this lining is in comparison. What I'm thinking about doing is actually bagging the lining and the dress in the hemline. So I think if you know what that means, so it actually will be sewn like that and there won't be any seams showing. I'm considering that. Also, I've made a decision about the armholes. So what I'm doing right now is basting them together, the lining and the facing, basting them together. There's a lot, this fabric really does fray a lot. So I'm basting them together and I'm actually going to do a seam binding around the armhole using a seam tape around the armhole right here to on the outside. I'll turn it to the inside, and then that way that will close off my armhole like this. So that will be nice and finished as well. It's going to be a little smaller in the shoulder, but I think it'll be a lot more cute that way as well, because you'll be showing off a little bit more arm that way. So that's what we're working on right now. And after that, we will move to here we go. Move to the sparkle on the neckline, and we will have a dress that is complete. Hopefully I will do a final post on this coming Saturday. Until then, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Amen.